Hola amigos, bienvenidos. Hi friends, welcome back to the Language Tutor Spanish podcast. This is episode 24. We talked about stem changing verbs, or at least one type, because we had two episodes. But we're going to cover the first type of stem changing verbs in this episode. But before I get going, I just wanted to point out really quick that, you guys hear me every episode of the podcast, but I never really get to hear from you. And I would love if some of you would leave me a voice message about how the podcast is helping you or the Language Tutor YouTube channel. Let me know how it's helping you or what you're getting out of it, what you think about it. I'd just love to hear from you, period. So if you look down in the description of this episode, you'll see a link there for Anchor. And just go to that link and you can record your own voice message. And I promise you I'll listen to it. Now, Anchor doesn't really allow for anonymous messages, so you might have to create an Anchor account really quick, but no big deal. It takes just a second. Leave me a voice message. I'd love to hear from you. I'll be watching my email for those to come in. All right, well, let's jump into episode 24. We introduced stem changing verbs on the YouTube channel. And first of all, let's just go over those rules of stem changers. There are three rules we talked about. The first one is, what is the rule for stem changing verbs in the present tense that have two syllables? Now, hopefully you're remembering that when it has two syllables, we change the stem in the first syllable. It can't be the last syllable because that's where the ending happens. The o-asa, amos an, or o-se, amos en, or etc. Rule number two was, if a stem changing verb has three syllables in the present tense, where does the stem change occur? And that was the second syllable in the middle there. And rule number three was that if you're looking at the chart, stem changes only occur in you probably just said it, the boot, the left three conjugations and the bottom right. So we don't change stems in the nosotros and the vosotros form in the present tense. All right. Now, we went over the verb perder and preferir. Those two, one had two syllables, one had three syllables. Let's start out with the conjugations of perder. And what I want to do is just take a handful of these, about 6 of them, and just say them in English, and you tell me what they are in Spanish. Okay, I'll give you the phrase, you tell me what it is. First of all, they lose. They lose. And that is ellos or ellas pierden. Next one, she loses. And that is ella pierde. The next one is I lose. And that is yo pierdo. The next one is we lose. And that is nosotros perdemos. We do not stem change that one. It's outside of the boot. Next one is he loses. And that is él pierde. And finally, you lose if I'm talking to one person who is my friend. And that is tú pierdes. Tú pierdes. Okay. Now let's go over the preferir conjugations in the same way. I'll say it in English, you say it in Spanish. First one is they prefer. And that is ellos or ellas prefieren. Change that stem in the middle. Next one is he prefers. And that's él prefiere. Up next is I prefer. And that's yo prefiero. Next one is she prefers. And that is ella prefiere. Up next is we prefer. And that is nosotros preferimos. No stem change. Next up is he prefers. And that's él prefiere. And now you prefer? Again, speaking to one person who is our friend. And that is tú prefieres. Prefieres. All right, that wraps up our first practice. Now let's move into some different verbs that practice the same concept. Now, we didn't go over these on the YouTube lesson, and it's a good thing because I really want you to think about it. You know, whether you're driving right now or working, whatever you're doing, I want you just to think about this in your head and let your mind process it. All right. So the verb we're going to start with, we're going to try two of these. The verb we're going to start with is querer. Q-U-E-R-E-R. Querer. Q-U-E-R-E-R. And that means to want. Now, we also use this as love sometimes. Okay? Now, think about these conjugations. We're going to do several of these, and I want you to mentally process where it is on the chart. Do we stem change it or not? And put the conjugation into Spanish. Okay, so the first one is we want. We want. All right, and that is nosotros queremos. Nosotros queremos. The next one is they want. Okay, we do stem change that one. It's in the boot, so it's ellos or ellas quieren. And next is I want. And that should be yo quiero. And just a little side note here. Sometimes in Spanish, if you say te quiero, you're using that pronoun implying to you, it means I love you. It really means, I want you, but it's implying I love you. Te quiero. All right, so that's just a little side note. Up next is she wants. And that is ella quiere. Ella quiere. Next one is you want. Now, I'm talking to a group of people here, and it's the form that we use in all Spanish-speaking countries. You want. And that is ustedes quieren. Ustedes quieren. Up next is he wants. And that is él quiere. Él quiere. Now you want. And this is talking to one person who is a friend of ours. And that is tú quieres. Up next is you want, if I'm talking to one person respectfully. And that is usted quiere. Usted quiere. And finally, you want, the other form, which is talking to a group of people, the form they only use in Spain. And that is vosotros queréis. Queréis. No stem change. It's outside of the boot. All right. Let's move into another one. Now, this time I want to use an AR verb just to give a different set of endings to bring in with it. And this is a two-syllable also. The verb is pensar, to think. Pensar. So that's P-E-N-S-A-R. Pensar. Pensar. All right, so think about pensar as we do these. The first one is we think. That is nosotros pensamos. Nosotros pensamos. Using AR endings now. The next one is they think. Now, this is only boys we're talking about here. And that is ellos piensan. Ellos piensan. Next is I think. And that is yo pienso. Yo pienso. Next is she thinks. That is ella piensa. Ella piensa. Next one is you think. Now, this is talking to a group of people, the form they use in all Spanish-speaking countries. And that is ustedes piensan. Ustedes piensan. And now he thinks. That is él piensa. Él piensa. Next, you think, talking to one person who is our age, informally. And that is tú piensas. Tú piensas. Next is they think, just talking about girls here. That is ellas piensan. Ellas piensan. Next one is you think, speaking to one person, showing respect. And that is usted piensa. Usted piensa. And the last one is you think, talking to a group of people, but using the form they only use in Spain. And that is vosotros pensáis. Vosotros pensáis. All right, my friends, I hope this short episode has helped you practice your stem changing verbs. Next time we're together, we'll practice the other type of stem changing verbs that we talked about, and those are UE stem changers. Well, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great one, and I wish for you paz y bendiciones, peace and blessings. Don't forget to leave me a voicemail, and I'll see you next time on Language Tutor Spanish. Hasta pronto.